What's up, YouTube? My name is English Bro. For this video, we are going to be discussing the curious case of UtaPri Season 4. Now, the reason we're going to be talking about this is, well, how do I explain this? This is the season that was announced on June 27th of last year. Do you understand that? Today is June 27th, 2016. 1 year ago today. So it seems appropriate that I made this video, right? Actually, I planned on it. But 1 year ago today, it was announced UtaPri gets the 4th season. When everybody thought the show was going to be over after last season. Okay, so the 4th season is announced, but nobody knows when the date's going to be. Broccoli hadn't said anything. The only thing we knew, and this came because of Junior J. Suave's Twitter, by the way, he plays Dr. White in the Japanese dub of Mighty No. 9, for anybody who's not played with the Japanese voices yet. But, so while they announced that production already started, cool. So we're thinking maybe along the line somewhere we would start to get more and more information, but we didn't. We did find out there was going to be a 5th stage, which, as we know, was this past January. Ran from January 15th through the 17th. And it was during there that we found out that the year that the show was going to be airing was this year, which is not the norm for UtaPri. Usually it has a 2-year break. It will come to find out later that it would begin airing in October. So, you've got 1 month and about 1 year and 4 months between the time the last season ended to this season. So if we really wanted to test it, it's around the time that a new season would be going, but let's look at what hasn't been announced. Okay, here's what we've got. We've got the visual check. We've got the month, October. Cool. And we apparently have all the staff. Heavens was announced to be in it. However, Heavens and Courtside Night are not in the visual. The group that is Stutters, with, of course, Haruka. Okay. No biggie. So, here's the thing. You've had from January 27th of last year to October of this year to start rolling out things such as what's the story going to be for this coming season, what singles are they going to use for this season, and how are they going to be done. Because remember, last year there was the cross units and there were also the solo songs. The way Shining and Raging apparently has ended the season, something was going to be cooked up that involved all 3 groups, and it wasn't going to be revolved around that night. So the question is, what is it? Well, we don't know the story yet. That's a problem. We don't know the singles or even how many is going to be involved. That's a problem. There's a lot of things we don't know yet, and we have legitimately just over 4 months to figure out the story and the songs to get people hyped for it. Because here's the one thing I've noticed. There hasn't been any hype for the actual anime yet. There has been hype for other animes like Beat Project, which I am actually looking forward to. I told us, if you were watching this video before you watched my last video, in my last video I mentioned I will be covering Beat Project. But like Beat Project and Cute High, I'm looking forward to this season. And even that Tales of Zestiria anime that's going to be coming out. So, the summer has like 3 animes that are dropping that I'm going to be really hyped on. Then, of course, the fall season's coming, and the fall season's got so goddamn many. I have to figure out what ones I'm going to have to really pick from, because the fall I usually try to temper myself. My problem is there's so many ones that I want to watch that I'm probably going to be watching another 3 to 5. That's unusual for the fall-winter season. UtaPri is going to be one of them, but the problem is with as little as we know about it, is it really possible that it's going to happen this season? Or was that a red herring? I would like to believe it was a red herring. The problem is, they've already got the visual. They've already announced a date for the most part. So, it's going to happen. Whether that's going to be any good, that's a whole other story. Because the story can end with Stardust winning and overcoming everybody. Cool. But let me ask you this question. If you're alone in the woods and you fart and nobody hears it, did you really fart? And basically, I'm sorry. That was the most odd analogy, but it's one that I had to think of. Because what I'm saying is, if you're not getting people really hyped for the season, that's a problem. You've announced over the course of the 6th anniversary, oh, by the way, here's the date for the remake of the first game for UtaPri, which is now called Love Repeat, for the Vita, and we're going to give you a new game called Dulce Vita, which actually translates to the Sweet Life. Interestingly enough, that game does not include Heavens. Okay, you know what? I'm actually fine with that. When I first read about that, it skeeved me a little bit, but I was like, alright, you know what? Cool. I would like to see Heavens get a game, though, because I'm curious as to what purpose they are being shoved into the anime now. If they're just being used to serve as the whipping boys for Starish and Quartet Night, which is something I am very much opposed to. I think they should be allowed to get their exposure this season, or in a season, by themselves. And I have always believed that. Especially now that they have a 7-member group as opposed to a 3-member group. Because now they could literally do their own season. Like, legit. The more I think of that Quartet Night, yeah, they could have. It would have been more difficult, but they could have done it. Would it have been a good? That's tricky. You know what I'm saying? The more I think about that one, okay, I see why they didn't do a solo season. Heavens can get a solo season if they wanted to do it. They're afraid to do it, though, because of pissing off Starish fans. That's the sole reason. Nobody can tell me differently either. They don't want to piss them off. Period. If they do, they lose about 95% of their audience, probably. Okay. And then that's just from like a marketing standpoint. But the question is, if you're starting to make Heavens merch, and they did, because it was at what anime Japan this year, then the question comes, when do you start to give them a focus? You get what I'm saying? That's why I said I wasn't opposed to using this season as a transition season to go from Starish to Heavens. Other people for some reason are, but whatever. I think sometimes people, and look, people can say that I'm like just diehard Heavens. I am a little bit, I admit that. But my whole thing is, you are opposed to a group that you don't know about yet. That's a problem. That'd be like me being opposed to, say, Ren, who was a character that I hated, and he never revealed his backstory. Now that I know his backstory, and I've watched it a couple of times, and goddamn nearly make me tear up, I am more sympathetic to his character. You see what I'm saying? And I do think we are going to get to the point where we learn about the Heavens characters. We have to. Because why else would they have been created in the first place? Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway. But we have this season, and we have no information. We are completely in the dark when it comes to what the hell is going on. We don't know the singles. We don't know how the singles are going to be formatted. We don't know the story. Obviously, the story's probably got to deal with still Triple S, right? I still think that they're going to find a way to, I don't want to say drag out because that makes it sound like I'm getting sick of it, but they're going to find a way to take UtaPri to a 10th anniversary at the Tokyo Games in front of a couple billion people. What I mean by that is, I have a feeling if you're going to end UtaPri, you must do it on the biggest stage possible. And you must, under all circumstances, have all 18 idol actors, okay? We're excluding Shine, we're excluding the senseis specifically for this. And they have to be given this one stage, all 18 of them. I still think they're going to do something with all three groups there. Now what happens between this season and then, I don't know. They could pull something, and this is something I've been thinking about. They could pull something where the season gets delayed till next year, do the next season in the 19th, or not the 19th, but 2019, and then do the series finale as like a movie maybe in 2020. That's another thing they could do. That's speculation on my part. I don't know. It's going to be a big gamble with what they're doing right now. You know, you don't have the singles out, so you don't have people pre-ordering them, but you have a remake of a remake announced and another new game, which makes you think because sometimes they use the games as source material for the anime. So maybe they're going to do another season that involves stuff that's from Dulce Vita. I don't know. But this is all pure speculation, and I don't know what the final outcome is going to be. But do let me know what you think, because, well, I'm actually curious. This is going to be potentially a really big train wreck, considering all the series that will be coming out in October. UtaPri's got a big hill to climb to get noticed, literally. So, let me know what you think, and I will talk to you all later. Take care, friends.